Hey, Lindsay, what's up? Let me fix my camera. I was I was thinking about Rico while I was humming that song. Let me see. Oh God, I'm trying not to get y'all vertigo. Okay. Yes, I woke up again late this morning. Well, I woke up early, child. I just laid back in bed. I'll get to work when I get to work. But you know what? It's been disturbing for me. Some things I've witnessed on YouTube. And hey, AB, just one and only Suki. Y'all, I hadn't been on this weekend hardly. These past few days, I've been dealing with my sinuses, and I've had sinus headaches, and you know, no fever. I'm not coughing up mucus, phlegm, any of that. Same thing. But I am not, because you got to be careful because people will be terrified when they hear a cough. But I, I'm congested right now. My allergies, I suffer with allergies yearly. Um, I still sleep. I'm not waking up in a cold sweat. There's no difference in, me going to the bathroom. All are symptoms of the pandemic that's going around. No fever. Took my temperature. It was 90, 98.1, 97.9. But I witnessed this whole thing that's been going on with Rico. It's disturbing. And let me tell y'all, there's something about Rico that, I like about him. I look at him like a little brother to a certain extent. A little mannish brother, be it, but he is definitely a person that YouTube is not beneficial for, because some behaviors that he's exhibited are being cultivated. And it saddens me to see that, because people that want to cheer him on are just looking at him like they're going to a circus, and they want to see a circus sideshow act. And it's not cool, because this man is doing a lot of self-medicating. He's self-medicating. Hey, Brooklyn Star. What is he doing? Just like, the drinking, and when he goes onto Tracy's, when Tracy talks about him and how she coddles him, and, give him names like Bookie Poo Poo and Boo 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 and Dee Dee, all these little cutesy names that make me nauseous. But she's not a real friend to him. This woman is sitting up looking at the coins that she can get from, exploiting him. Yeah, beautiful son. Hey, Bama girl. Is Bama girl in here? But she does have to keep him going. And y'all, let me tell y'all, I told y'all something about my upbringing. And, I come on YouTube and I talk about it. My mother battled with alcoholism. And I'm the first to tell you, because that's my reality. That's my truth. You call yourself, you add truth in your name, Miss Tree Dog. You add truth in your name, and there's nothing about you that's truthful, from your wigs to the cankles around your ankles. I think that you're sitting up and you're making a profit. But my mother battled with alcoholism. It left a scar, an emotional scar on me, because I'm not that friend that drinks a lot. And when people have said that Rebel's drinking, and I'm like, what the hell? So y'all are really coming on here trying to spread that narrative that Rebel drinks a lot? Because you see me on the gentleman's panel, and sometimes I have a Moscato. Really? Mind you, it's a glass of Moscato. It's not a whole bottle that I'm downing. That's probably been at my place for about 2 or 3 weeks. But needless to say, um, I grew up with that part of my life, and that made a wedge between me and my mother for many years because I had a couple of brothers that condoned that behavior and that would sit up and drink with my mother. While it's five of us, three of us were not feeling it. Two were. And mind you, the two that were end up, going to jail or, for a minute. And, their drinking had some negative consequences, and people don't get help unless they want to. You can't make people. And I don't profess to be a specialist in that field. I'm just going by what I've seen. And I'm not doing a self diagnosis. I'm just talking about observations. But I think that my mother would be pissed off because the three of us that would get on her about her drinking, we were telling her not to do something that she wanted to do. Meanwhile, you got the other siblings that are sitting up doing everything with her like that. But the thing was, the three of us that didn't do that, we tended, to walk a straight and narrow. We didn't go to jail. We were able to achieve some things. But, and I love my brothers, but I do know that my family has a history of alcoholism, and that comes from like my great grandfather, my great great grandfather, a Louisiana Creole type of man that drank a lot. That was the norm, but he came from a different era, so maybe his self-medicating was just to cope with being, devalued as a human. I think my mother was self-medicating from things that she may not have shared with us. I didn't talk to my mother for a long time because of that. I felt like there was so much greatness that she could have achieved if she didn't drink like she did, but that's why I'm mindful. Even when I go around my friends and they play shot games, and I've had to say later on, listen, y'all can play shot games. I'm not going to participate because I don't drink hard liquor like that. First, I don't like the taste of hard liquor. I don't like the taste of Crown and Coke. When I had that peach Crown that I bought from Specs, I saw it on sale. I bought it. I gave it to my friend Zeke for his birthday when I went to his little gathering. I did that because I knew I'm not sitting around a house having, Crown on the rocks. I just, again, I don't like the taste of it. I don't like Grey Goose. I don't like, any of those whites or browns. Right. And and the thing is, let me tell y'all, and before it was hard for me to talk about this, because I loved my mother, but my mother was mimicking what she had seen growing up. You know, she saw something in our parents that was drinking a lot. My mother would drink a lot, and I remember having to help my brothers and sisters get ready for school because my mother had passed out drunk, and I had to get up in the morning, a little 9-year-old kid, dressing my siblings. So I learned then, that, I knew that, I was a survivor in that aspect because, there were many times, even my mother not being able to pay the bills sometimes and getting lights cut off or water cut off, and we having to stay with relatives. And people generally don't know this about me. Yes, after I became an adult, I've been to Africa, I've been to Canada, Mexico, I've traveled to other countries, and I've witnessed, all the beautiful aspects of, the world and life. But I didn't envision that for me as a child. I didn't think I would ever leave Houston. And I couldn't wait till I became an adult because I felt I had to escape. I felt that I had to escape because I wasn't going to achieve anything if I stayed at home. I witnessed my uncles, my mother's brothers, and some of my first cousins being in and out of jail and, selling drugs. And those were the men. The women didn't get into trouble like that. The women all, went on to have good jobs, and these are all my aunts. But yes, my uncles, my mother's three brothers. Some battled with drug addiction, some been in and out of prison. But I knew that if I didn't escape, hey, captivating. Uh, I knew that if I wasn't going to escape, I would have been another statistic. And just living in that environment, me and my sister and brother talk about it. Y'all, I had one brother. My brother went overseas to work. My brother came back with over $150,000 in his bank account. My brother blew through that money like that. You know, you hanging with the hood dudes and y'all popping bottles and picking up these heifers with names like Kiwi and Strawberry hanging out. You know, just doing a lot of things. My brother had paid cash for a Chevy Avalanche truck. He could have bought a house, but things he was dealing with, he ultimately had to start breathing in the breathalyzer to start his car because of him getting charges for drinking. And I didn't want that for my brother. But my brother was following in family members' footsteps. Not just, my mother, but my grandmother. My grandmother didn't drink as much, but when she did drink, my mother's mother, when she did drink, she became a different person. In my family, when people drink and be, overindulge in alcohol, they become like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I think that my grandmother drinking, she had 9 children with my grandfather, who was out there making babies with any woman. Anything that sat down to pee, he made a baby with it. Now, my mother and her siblings would jump on my grandfather. They would fight my grandfather because my grandfather would come home trying to jump on my grandmother after he'd been out in the streets hoeing, doing what he wanted, and one of those hoes out there in the street would piss him off, and he would come home and try to fight my grandmother. And my mother and her siblings would be fighting my grandfather, jumping on him, and they were teenagers at this time. And that's why I would tell y'all stories about my mother wasn't taking crap for anyone. And I told y'all my mother and father, I got different characteristics from them. My father is very even-natured, very, he's very soft-spoken. But unfortunately, I took after my mother with a temper. And my father's, he's an intellect. He definitely, I remember playing, it's funny, like little things that stick in your mind. I remember playing checkers with my sister, the one that y'all met, my sister that's married to her wife, that has a wife. She and I don't have the same mother, but we have the same father. I don't say half siblings, I say that's my sister. But my sister and I were playing checkers, and I remember we were arguing because my sister wanted red and I wanted red, and she was like, no, you can have black. You know how kids get into it about that. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna argue. And I remember me just turning the board around, as opposed to my sister. When she would do that, she would wipe all the checkers off the board. And my father saw that, and he was like, see, you my boy. Because, I was even at that age, I knew it didn't make sense to take all the checkers off the board and just start them back over when we could have just rotated the board and you have the color you want. That's something small. It's not really significant to most people, but I just remember being a problem solver like that as a kid. But my mother was hot-tempered. She got along with people. But if you came at my mother in the sideways, any manner that she felt that was disrespectful, she would check you without and my mother was very, like how I am on YouTube. You may take my certain, they look at me and see, oh, well, he's not that aggressive, or he's quiet, or, people thought that at my job also until they got to know me. But my mother, I have that characteristic like her, being very soft-spoken to a certain extent, but unfortunately, again, I took her temper as well. which is, I like to laugh. My mother had a sense of humor. My father has a sense of humor. But if I feel I have to go there with you, I will jump off the porch and grab you by the nape of your, scalp and drag you into the middle of the street. But I don't like getting to that point because it's like it's draining to me and it's unnecessary. Um, okay, Linty, thank you, Carmel God. Fresh Prince, what's up? Of course, me waking up late. I'm driving into work when I should have parked at the parking lot. So I had to pay $12 to park. But I think that alcoholism was a problem in my family. And I just, I hated my mother at one point. I hated her for that because I felt like she couldn't reach her full potential and we had to go without because of that. So I would run away. I would go to my grandmother's house. Um, because I felt like if my mother wanted to go party, she would make me stay there and watch my siblings when she would go out partying with her homegirls. And the thing were, my mother's homegirls, friends, were still in college and still doing things. My mother wasn't doing that. So they could drink but still function. My mother was always, they looked at her as that pretty light skinned girl that they gave passes to, which was, something that enabled her. And I think that me even dating guys, I don't want anyone that has a substance abuse problem. I don't care if you don't drink every day. But when you do drink, the ex I had, he didn't drink every day, but hell, on Fridays he made for what he didn't drink during the week. He would knock a couple of bottles off. And I knew that was going to be problematic. And that's when I told y'all I sat him down and I just told him, listen, I'm not in love with you anymore. You love that bottle more than you love me. And I'm going to love you enough to let you go because I love myself to not have this toxic relationship. If I'm picking up bottles of cologne and slinging them at your head and shattering headboards, mirrors that's on the dresser, I, I shouldn't get to that point with you. I shouldn't get to the point where the fighting person and the person that's inside that likes to fight, his name is Dwayne. Like Beyonce says, Sasha Fierce. Yeah, that's Dwayne. Now, Dwayne is a fighter, but that's not again, I don't like having to fight like that. Right now, I'm 27 to 35 years old. What it looks like for me to be out there fighting and rolling around in the dirt, kicking its. No, I'm not doing all that. I'm not acting like some type of a primate and just fighting over territory or just pissing on a tree to mark my territory. No, I'm not doing all that. It's unnecessary. And when I saw Rico, I see someone a family member. I know those characteristics. I know the traits that a person that has self-medicating. And some of your people, the people that's thinking it's funny, that's giving him these little cutesy names and things, they're doing a disservice to this man. You're doing a terrible disservice because he's going to gravitate toward those people that are telling him what he needs to hear and not they're telling him what he wants to hear, and not what he needs to hear. I'm that friend that I will be a thorn in my friends. My boys, they know me to tell them how I feel. I'm very outspoken with my friends. And you can ask BJ or DJ. I'll be like, my friend BJ, I'll be like, listen, you need to snap the hell out of it. You do know that this person is doing that, or you need to stop doing that because you're really effing up. I tell my friends that kind of stuff because they're like my brothers, so I can talk to them in that manner. I'm not gonna sit up and be quiet and be like, well, make your decision what you're doing. No, you effing up. You're being stupid. Don't go put sugar in someone's gas tank. You're gonna take your ass to jail acting a fool. That ninja gonna still be doing what he wanna do. You put sugar in his gas tank, you get in trouble, you're going to jail. Meanwhile, he's still out doing what he wants to do. You've accomplished nothing but made yourself look like a fool. I'm that friend. But what's up, John Stewart? Yes, hit the like button, y'all. But I feel bad because I see Rico on a downward spiral, and I see him trying to compensate for something, you know. And a lot of young gay men get caught up in that stuff, even the escorting, and they're escorting in drug use. It's like when they meet me, it's like a unicorn almost. I'm working, just have a car, I stay on my own, I don't do drugs. It's like, damn. A lot of guys I meet, I've had a guy come to my apartment and fire up a crack pipe. I think it was a crack pipe. It was the one that was it looked like a glass cylinder and it had a ball on the end. And I said, dude, what the hell are you doing? And he was like, oh, I thought you liked the party. I was like, well, how the context that you used it in, I thought you meant like, do I like to go to a club and party? It wasn't in my mind that when you were saying party that you were talking about drugs like that. And listen, I just hadn't been accustomed. I've been accustomed to alcoholics, but the whole thing of hell, I don't even like poppers. A lot of gay men sniff poppers that make them sexually aroused, and it smells like paint thinner. I don't like that smell. So I with them, okay, I'm trying to see how they're driving in front of me, guys. There's a lot of rampant drug abuse, and some of the younger gays get caught up with that, and they don't have a way out because it takes over their very beings. Okay, you know, is that it becomes a way of life, and people are glamorizing it because you have a lot of rappers talking about, you know, syrup and water and popping pills and exos and all that. I'm like, what the back in the days when you had that neighborhood crackhead or your uncle that was on crack, they would hide it. You just knew they were on it. But nowadays, people don't care. They'll be going in the bathroom free basing and come out with all this booger sugar on their noses, or nose always running and it's not allergy season. Okay, you're doing too much. Um, I remember people taking me under their wings. And okay, hold on, y'all. Let me grab me a ticket. So I remember, an older gay person like saying, "I want you to be my gay child," and I was like, "Your gay child?" I'm like, "How the hell am I your gay child and you 6 months older than me, girl? If you don't go sit your behind down somewhere." But little did I know that they wanted to look at me as their gay child because they wanted to sleep with me. Hold on, y'all. Why do these people drive like this? Can I get my car in here? Lord, let me be able to hold on, y'all. Because these people in the middle, they just park. They park horrible. It's not even for. It says compact parking, and you over here with a big Cadillac. When the hell did a Cadillac become a compact car? Uh, hey Nicole, goddess. Pookie. Thank y'all for coming through. I'm getting ready to go in here, y'all. Because again, I'm gonna get off early today because we have a very light workload. Um, hit the likes, hit that thumbs up button, shine some light on me. Share the video. You can share, subscribe. But have a great day. All my mods. Much to love to y'all. Peace. I'm out. I'll be on later today. I need to catch up on some videos. The gentleman's panel will be on the official King Payne's channel Thursday. Check us out on the official King Payne's channel Thursday. We're going to be on at what time are we going to be on? Captivating. If you're still in here, we may go on at 7:45 Central Standard Time, because captivating. Hey, number one caller. Not captivating. King Pain is an hour behind. So uh, check us out. I'll put it on my community page what time we're going on, so you can guys can go over there. Tracy has another grocery list coming out. She went to the hardware store. So I want y'all to go to my community page and check that out as well. But y'all, let me go in here, take care of what I need to take care of. Peace. I'm out. Much love to y'all.